All right, come join Kyle, John, and David as they go through what's on the playlist. Find out what's everyone's favourite at Chicken Soup for the Soul Entertainment. We have a few segments, to be honest. In and out points, no celebs and the gossip. Back in time where we're talking about the big M's, coming attractions, what the cue. Quick checks, who'll be laughing? You abundantly. Welcome to Dual Redundancy.
Yes, welcome to Dual Redundancy, the only podcast where you can hear all latest in television and entertainment news from the past year with too many hosts with exactly the same opinions. I'm one of those hosts, David Allen, and another one is
John Berwick, and a third one is
Kyle Bridger. I would say that I am the Wordle to John's It's Corn, and to Dave's The Slap.
Oh,
and we all know what slap we're talking about.
The NBC show that was canceled after one season about 10 years ago. Yeah, that one.
With Zachary Quinto,
yes, that one. I thought it was going to be Morbid Time. That's where I thought we were going. No, not Morbid Time. It's our wind down time. We're going to wind down the year. It's a tradition we've had since 2013. Can you believe it? Every year we ask what were your favorite movies, television shows, and pop culture moments from the past year, and we're going to reveal them live tonight on the podcast in our final podcast of 2022. Now, we got the votes from a Google form survey. They were from, of course, the listeners. We got some help from the sample size movie and TV subreddits. So we got a good mix of people that watch movies and television that are experts to kind of tell us what were the biggest things of the year, their favorites. And we're going to just go through them tonight. We'll add in ours, just wind down the year. You guys ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Okay, let's start off with movies. Just to give you an idea, to set it up, some past winners, some honorable mentions before we get to the final three. 2018, the winner was Avengers Infinity War. 2019, Avengers Endgame. 2020, Palm Springs. And then last year, Dune. So those were the past winners. Kyle, you're the only one on the podcast that hasn't seen the results. So I got to ask you, what did people vote for? What were the top three?
Top three, dude, I'm having a hard time finding three. But top one, I'm thinking in my brain, Top Gun's got to be on there. Top Gun has to be top three.
Okay. Any other guesses?
I'm looking up 2020 films right now.
2022 films. Look up. We're not doing 2020.
Oh man,
I'm looking up films from 1984. And
yes, that is what I'm
Dave gave you a hint earlier with Morbid Time.
Is it? It's not Morbius.
Come on, John. Don't mess with him. Don't mess with him.
Number two.
I would.
No, I'll say that's a big nope on Morbius.
That's what I was gonna say. Was Nope. Nope was gonna be another one for me, but maybe the Black Panther movie.
Yeah, those are all good guesses. But I'll tell you that honorable mentions. These are ones that missed it by just a couple of votes here. Nope actually missed the top three by one vote.
Oh man,
Barbarian was up there. Glass Onion, A Knives Out Mystery. That was pretty close, and it was only really available for 1 week so far.
Yeah.
So
is that recency bias?
Maybe, but a very small sample size could be even able to see that film.
Yeah.
But all right,
what
three.
Dave isn't telling you is that it just barely missed out by a vote or two because the top three only got one vote each, and the rest got none.
No. There was quite a few votes. And our third place, Kyle said it, Top Gun Maverick.
Third place.
Third place for Top Gun. I think when we look back on, I think this will be like the movie of the year, though. I mean, it's the highest grossing film of the year, the highest grossing film for Tom Cruise ever. It's made around $1.5 billion worldwide. John, this was your box office pick here. You lucked out on this one.
Yeah, oh yeah. That's like the reverse Warcraft, where it did really good here. But yeah, I enjoyed this one. I mean, I went to go see it with my dad, and I had a good time, and we really enjoyed it, and it was a good movie, I thought.
Yeah,
I think. Well, you say it's like the film of 2022. It signified I think the return to theaters, right? I think this was the one movie that really brought people back into the theater.
Especially
Wasn't Tenet?
like a certain demo. I feel like also like because I think a lot of the older folks were worried to go back to theaters, and they haven't even seen anything that interests them, and it's like, wait a minute, Top Gun's in there. Oh, I'm gonna go see Top Gun. I'll make a point to see Top Gun, and then of course it made so much money because you had to see it on the big screen. You were in like the cockpit flying around with him. You got the rumbling of the engines. You may even have like debris, bugs flying on the screen, as Kyle and I saw in IMAX. Who knows what's going to be on the projector at the AMC.
Yeah.
But no, this is one of the top films of the year. It was named one of the best from AFI. Got a Golden Globe nom for Best Drama, possibly an Oscar Best Picture nomination in sight. This could be an awards and crowd favorite. So, so Top Gun Maverick, number 3. What we got for number 2? Number 2, The Batman.
I did like The Batman, dude. Yeah. I liked it a lot.
Yeah. It's the 6th highest grossing film of the year. Yeah, and it was an interesting take. It was obviously a more kind of like the Nolan films, a bit more grounded. It had a little bit of like the Seven, like David Fincher kind of vibe to it. But,
excellent music.
Yeah. There is going to be a little. I'll use this as a segue to talk about DC for a minute here, because who knows what DC is going to look like next year. There's been a lot of changes. James Gunn, Peter Safran took over. They're kind of the new Kevin. What's his name? Feige. Yeah, Kevin Feige of Marvel. That's kind of them now for DC. They've nixed Wonder Woman 3. They scrapped Henry Cavill as Batman. And despite just a month or so ago.
You mean Superman?
Yes, Superman.
God forbid, we don't need that coming down our
I can't believe I put that out into the universe. But Cavill's not going to be Batman or Superman, even though after just a month or so ago, he was announced. He announced his return after some Black Adam cameo. It's like, nope, just kidding. You're not that anymore. Supposedly, this whole Batman universe that they created here is safe still, and it's possibly launching a bunch of other stuff. There's possibly 2 sequels, some spin-off series focusing on like the Gotham City Police, the Penguin, Arkham. So there's a whole universe to come from this Batman series.
This is HBO, though. They could film a whole 3 more films and then cancel them before they all come out.
Yeah.
And also, does everything have to be a universe? They just have to suck everything dry. Oh, wait, you found this interesting? Let's devour it in every way possible. It's so gross.
Speaking of, that's a great segue to announce that we are launching the Dual Redundancy universe. You can pick up NFTs. Let's see, board games.
We're going to split into 3 different podcasts, each led by one of us.
Mine's going to be a prequel. But yeah, it's just nuts. But yeah, so that's the Batman. That's number 2. Let's get to number 1 here. Any guesses now? Any updated guesses of what is number 1, Kyle?
Dude, I can't even remember what's on the survey anymore.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, the winner this year is Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Okay, I did see that. I just didn't know how popular it was, but looks like very popular. Yeah. I love that movie.
Yeah, it certainly was the indie hit of the year. It's a strong Oscar contender. It's 6 Golden Globe nominations. It led with Critics' Choice with 14. It's made over 100 million worldwide, which makes it the biggest A24 release ever. So it's definitely up there for film. Yeah, it beat out the Batman here, as we talked about, Top Gun, some other big box office grossers. I can't remember, John. Did you see Everything Everywhere All at Once?
I haven't. It's on my long list of things to watch. Yeah, I hear it's really good.
You gotta watch it. Very, very good.
I'll keep it as vague as I can here, because it. Even if I explain it to you, you'll think I'm nuts.
You reviewed it. Yeah. You both reviewed it, and I forgot already what it was about.
It's there's some Ratatouille parody involving raccoons. There's hot dog fingers. There's just a parallel universe.
Yeah.
It's a wild, but visually out of this world, such an inventive film. The edits, the colors, it's just so unique. And I think this is what I love so much about it. And I think this is what captured, the attention of everyone who voted at number one here. I think it's just such a unique film after watching Thor 4 and Doctor Strange 2. And this is just something different.
But also like it worked within the context of those movies. So like if you love those movies, you could go right into this because it feels that same kind of, it's in the same vein, but it brings new life to it almost.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so I like this pick a lot. This is definitely one of my favorites of the year.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it matched really well. I mean, I liked Everything Everywhere. I liked Top Gun Maverick. Nope. Barbarian. I would say that was just a fun movie to watch.
Yeah, Barbarian was good.
Any other movies I'm forgetting, Kyle, of your favorites for the year?
No. I think those were all that I had.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think those were all that I had. I mean, this is a great top three.
Yeah, very good top three.
The Everything Everywhere All at Once feels like forever ago, though. I mean, it was at the beginning of the year.
I think Batman and Everything Everywhere were March, April. Yeah,
I feel like films really died off towards the end of the year.
I think it was just like this summer of just doldrums of just like, it got to be July and it was just like nothing was coming out. And then, and then there's been a lot of Oscar movies that have come out, but I feel like they're just being, forgotten about over Black Panther 2 or now Avatar. Like it's just, you got to be big or go home, I guess. But
yeah,
John, anything I'm forgetting here? Any other movies?
I think the two movies I saw this year were Batman and Top Gun. So those
are two good ones to see.
Yep.
We got some multiple write-ins I'll talk about. These are the ones that weren't on the list, but people wrote in a couple times. RRR and Prey. I've heard a lot about both those films. Yep. And on the opposite end of things, these are some of the ones that are on our list that I put in the top 20 or 30 that got very few votes. I think there was just like 1 vote for Bros and 2 votes for Don't Worry, Darling. Those are some low vote getters.
Yeah, but I could see, Don't Worry, Darling is like, I enjoyed watching it, but it definitely wasn't one of the best films of the year. Sorry.
Yeah, but all right. That's it for movies. Now we have 3 categories on TV. We used to be like just 1, and then I think it was like new and returning. And then we did, now we do returning, new series, and miniseries. And we're going to start off with the returning shows. And just for the last couple of years, 2020 was The Boys. 2020, or last year, was Ted Lasso. So we got to figure out what were the returning shows of this year. Any guesses what made the top 3, Kyle?
Well, I'm going to guess, since we've had it previously, The Boys, and I still think it's a great show. So I could see The Boys being up there. Maybe Better Call Saul, maybe. Final year for that, so that would be nice if that was in there. I'm drawing so many blanks. My brain is fried.
I think it'll be interesting, like, because we have the graphic up here on Twitch and on YouTube, and
I'm trying to get
you're
an
trying
idea.
to guess based off of the blob. It's like, oh, what is this possibly?
Yeah.
Surprised you didn't
maybe
remember, because usually when they want you to remember, they have the actor eat something in the first few minutes of the show.
That's true. That is
well,
true.
it looks like there's a Crown, so I'm gonna go with the Crown. Maybe it might be up there.
I'm guessing I like the idea, but you're not right there for the Crown. All right, I'll say honorable mentions. These are the ones that didn't make the cut. They were close, but they didn't make it. The White Lotus, Atlanta, and Only Murders in the Building. They were up there, but not in the top 3. Our number 3. John alluded
Only
to
Murders.
it.
Hang on. Only Murders in the Building was up there quite a little bit.
Yeah, it was quite up. It was quite up there.
Wow. I
think in a past year, in one of the past years, I believe it was like in the top 3 as well, like for new shows or something like that. But
yeah.
All right, number 3. John alluded to it. Grab your donut, eat it in the first scene here. It's Barry. Barry season 3 was our 3rd show, a much darker than even usual Barry.
Yeah.
It's not. I wonder if that's like playing into it because I've been seeing like awards wise, even though I really enjoyed season 3, it was like shutout at the TCAs. It was 0 for 7 at the primetime Emmys. It won just 3 technical Emmys. And I'm wondering if it's like, well, it's in the comedy category, but this show is not a comedy anymore. Sure, there's dark moments that you might laugh here and there.
Yeah.
But this thing is dark now.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, it's super dark, but I mean, it's still such a good show. And I mean, the fact that Bill Hader is acting like his ass off basically is just
out of the park.
It's so well done.
There was like one episode I don't think Hader even like spoke, and like that it was just a performance of just like grunts and looks that he gave. And then that's acting, and then you look at the directing. The directing is still top notch. One of the best directed episodes of the year was 710 North. The whole motorcycle chase sequence using Nat sound at certain points. Just the whole sequence was just really well done. It was very suspenseful, and so yeah, I was bummed he didn't win for directing or something like that. But
yeah,
be interesting to see where season 4 goes. We won't spoil how season 3 ended, but a very complicated situation for Barry. So yeah, we'll see how season 4 goes, and if it's at the final season, I don't know how much longer that this show can really go for with that premise. So I don't know, but hopefully we won't have to wait like 3 years again for a new season. But
okay, I've got a
you have a guess? Updated guess?
Yes, Stranger Things is one on there. I know it for sure.
All right, I'll give it to you. So what we have here, we have technically 3 shows left because we have a tie coming up. You've said all 3 in some way. Number 2, The Boys. The Boys is number 2.
Yeah, dude.
And
that show is still so good. It's so violent and over the top, but it's so good. Clever. I mean, the clever, but also the over the top jokes. It's obscene at points.
At points, yeah. We have heroism in this season. Like, oh my goodness.
Yeah. But it is really good. It is really well done.
Yeah, we got the addition of Soldier Boy this season. We had Butcher and Huey using Compound V, and Homelander just going even deeper and deeper. I mean, there were so many memes from this season of just his reactions at different points, including the very end of season 3. I will sort of spoil this, so I guess quick spoilers for The Boys, the end of season 3, when Homelander kills one of his critics at the rally and the crowd cheers. It's like he can just shoot somebody on Fifth Ave and get away with it. I wonder like how far we're gonna go with him in season 4. If this was like the line and he crossed it and he's okay with it and everyone's okay with it, oh boy,
we're going places.
And I'm excited because I saw Jeffrey Dean Morgan is joining the cast. One of my favorite parts of later Walking Dead, just playing the a-hole Negan. So I can't even imagine him in the Boys universe. So, oh boy, buckle up. All right, so we got a tie for number 1, and I'll reveal the first one first. We'll talk about is Stranger Things.
Okay.
And I will say I think it's a step up from previous outings of the season. I think we talked about like being kind of down on even season 2 and season 3. It still feels a bit kind of paint by numbers still. Like I'm waiting for something really big. Like, the group was split up for most of this season, and I really like it when it's like an ensemble and it's like the same pairings all season, and that Russian subplot just was dragging. It's just like, I kind of wish like, okay, could we have mixed up the characters a bit more or brought them all together sooner? Or, I don't know. But,
and they keep undoing the deaths. Just stop.
Yeah, I agree with. I saw the article with Millie Bobby Brown, and it's like we need to start killing people here. We need to they always introduce like one new person a season at least, and that's the person that goes. It's like no, you need to get rid of some of the core cast here. Like
there's no stakes. It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll see now. Again, season 4 had a big I guess, ending. And I guess season 5 is the final season, but I'm sure that's going to be split up into like 8 parts because Netflix is not going to let that thing die. So who knows when we actually will get the finale, but
I did think this past season was better than
definitely
than 3.
If I had to do a quick thing, I would probably say, off the top of my head, 1, 4, 2, 3.
Yeah,
I think
I would say that's probably pretty close to mine too.
But
yeah, I think they're also just being hurt by how old they are.
Yeah.
Like,
let's time jump it. Like, who cares? Make them in college. Like, just, let's go.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
All right. I said we don't know when the series finale of Stranger Things is going to be. We know where the series finale of the other number 1 hit was, and that was this year because it's Better Call Saul.
Nice.
I'm really glad with this pick, guys. Good job, John.
And we didn't have to fudge the numbers. Did PricewaterhouseCooper get their hands on this? Oh, okay.
So John, this is. What do you think of the end? I know we spent a whole episode on it, but like.
Looking back, like, I liked it. Like, yeah, he's back to like Saul, but he kind of isn't. Like, he's like, he got like pushed back into Saul. Like, it didn't seem like he went willfully, and so now he feels like he's stuck between like Saul and Jimmy, and you know, like Gene is gone mostly, but like I don't know. I really enjoyed it. I think it left the ending in like the perfect spot. For you to ruminate and think on it. So I don't know. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. I mean, we kind of like these 2 little half seasons that were kind of split by like a month or so, and so much went down. Like, even we had 1 episode. I guess I'm spoiling it. I mean, we kind of mentioned it a little bit. We're spoiling it. Series finale. It's been months. Deal with it. Spoilers. When Lalo gets Howard. And then we have to wait, or whatever, a month or so for the next episode. And then that very next episode, Lalo gets gotten by Gus. Yep. And then you get the whole kind of Gene arc. Like, just we get this big time jump, but now we're with Gene. But then there's this one episode that kind of parallels when Gene breaks bad by going back also where the original Breaking Bad moment for Jimmy into Saul. In that first meeting with Walt and Jesse. And that was all in an episode called Breaking Bad. So they had these 2 Breaking Bad moments happening at the same time to the same character. You got the Kim Wexler breaking down in Waterworks. You got the finale. It's mind-boggling to me that this show has never won an Emmy. Not one. Not one Emmy win for this show. And we have one last chance this year. It's going to be such a long wait. And a long time for people to forget how great this show was. And I really hope they don't forget it because it deserves something. It deserves a lot of them, but at least something.
Yeah, I mean, I feel bad because I feel like I'm one of those people where I would forget how good this show was. Every time I would watch it again, I'd be like, God, this show is so good. Why do I not think of it every single time that I think of like one of the best shows around? And I guess it's just so good that I take it for granted. Just how well they do it. I just take it for granted. I mean, everyone, the cast is phenomenal. The writing is insane. It's just, and it holds itself alone outside of Breaking Bad. It feels like a different show.
Yeah.
And it's good that it is.
Yeah. Again, I really like where the votes are going here. This was in my, my top picks. Barry as well. The White Lotus was up there. Any other returning shows you want to mention before we get to new stuff?
I mean, Atlanta, which we mentioned. I thought it was a better season this season, which was good.
Yeah. Here's some multiple write-ins that people wrote in. Mythic Quest, that won at one point during the pandemic year. Mythic Quest won.
I hear it got a lot better after that first episode. I never went back and rewatched it, unfortunately.
We had The Umbrella Academy. We had Ghosts get some extra noms. There's this one here. It got 1 vote. I keep forgetting that this is a show and not like, I don't know, some like, it's called The Cleaning Lady. And I'm like, what? This is the worst possible name for any show ever.
I know. It is. It's terrible.
Who's gonna be like, oh, I gotta go home. It's Tuesday night. I gotta watch the cleaning lady.
Cleaning lady.
I know. Well, when they do the promos, which I see, they always promo it during the football.
Oh, yeah.
So then I always hear, and it's like trying to make it all sound cool with this deep voice, and it's like, you gotta watch the cleaning lady, and it's like, that's not.
There's
that
one
doesn't
stain
sound
on the
cool at all.
carpet that's not coming out. All right. Well, let's talk about some new shows. These are some past winners: 2019 Chernobyl, 2020 Mythic Quest, and then 2021 Squid Game. Any guesses? Top 3, Kyle. Top for new shows. The new shows that came out this year.
Dude, I am so bad. I've lost my mind, man.
All right, I'll give you some honorable mentions here. These are the ones that maybe jog your memory.
Okay.
Just Missed the Cut. Peacemaker, The Bear, and The Rehearsal.
What? The Bear missed?
Yeah. So those 3 were very close, but they didn't make it.
Which was one after The Bear?
The
'Cause I
Rehearsal.
exclaimed too loud. The Rehearsal. Oh, man.
So,
yeah, that is good.
Any guesses now for top 3, or I'm just going to go right into it?
Top 3 new shows. I don't know. You're gonna have
We
to
talked about
give me
2
number
of them on
3,
the
and I'll
podcast.
give
All
you
right.
that first
Number
two.
3 here, Severance.
Oh man, yeah.
So I'm actually
is a good
surprised
show.
that this was number 3 because I think it should be much higher. I really, this is such a fresh, original, like fully fleshed out idea. You know, it's just like the production design alone, the white winding hallways, the mesmerizing Emmy-winning opening credits. Like, there's so much going on in this show. It's just so unique. John, I know you were into Severance.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I think that the reveal we got towards the end was
the
worth
finale
the time.
last. I won't say it in this one, but the final moment in the finale with Adam Scott, it's just God. How long we have to wait for this? Like I don't know why it's gonna take so long.
The one time we're like, Apple, we want something, give it to us, like.
Because it was renewed, I saw it was renewed in April, and they started filming in October, but it says they're not going to wrap filming until May.
Wow.
And it's like, this isn't...
It's got to be something with schedules or something.
Yeah, it must be schedules, because this isn't that big of a CGI nightmare, I don't think. This isn't Lord of the Rings. Like, are we not going to get it till summer, till the fall?
They're making a new intro, maybe, you know.
Maybe. Yeah, stop motion. It took a long time for Ben Wyatt to make that 2-second stop motion video. So, all right. So I gave you number 3, Kyle. Can you?
Yeah, and I've been looking on the web, the internet,
World Wide Web.
You're looking at the answers, and I think I know what they are.
Yeah.
And no, I have no idea. I'm getting the wildest stuff. I don't even. It says new popular shows on Google, and I don't even recognize any of them.
The Cleaning Lady 2.
Yeah.
It's messier this time around.
I don't know if this would count in this one category, but maybe The Dropout.
That might be in the miniseries category.
Okay. I don't know then, man.
All right.
I don't know.
Well,
The Resort, maybe?
No.
No.
For this one, we got to go to a galaxy far, far away.
Oh, Andor. Yeah. I've been meaning to check that out. Everyone's been talking about it.
Everyone's been talking about it. I don't think... Yeah, none of us have watched Andor, so this will be a quick little thing on this one. I've been hearing good things. I've heard this is the most, like, un-Star Wars show. And I think I've heard, like, that's kind of the problem with it, at least ratings-wise. It's one of the most critically acclaimed of the Star Wars shows, but it's, like, the lowest rated among viewership, at least. I even saw, like, Disney, like, try, like, re-airing it on their, like, at least the first episode or 2 on like Freeform, on FX, on Hulu, just to try to get like people to like tune in and get Disney Plus to check it out. But I don't know. I know the show at least has a 2-season commitment, so they're gonna at least finish their story. And I don't know. It's a prequel to the prequel that is Rogue One. So I don't know how much they really got to complete. Man. We'll see how much, because there's a very finite point of how Rogue One starts and ends. So it's on my list too, but I just don't have Disney Plus. So
they're trying to get their dollars worth out of the Star Wars universe, I guess. You know?
Every possible. This one takes place 5 minutes before the events of this, but 10 minutes after the events of that.
And it's a 2-hour movie spanning those 5 minutes.
But all right, number one. I'm really surprised, Kyle, that you didn't guess this one for number one. How about I'll give you this? We have 2 fantasy shows that came out this year. Big budget CGIs.
So we got House of the Dragon.
House of the Dragon is the number one pick. That's the crown.
I wasn't choosing Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
No way, man.
Yeah. So speaking of prequels, House of the Dragon, the new Game of Thrones prequel here. I was not a Game of Thrones fan. You guys all know that. But in the beginning of the series, I was fully in. Maybe it's just the small amount of characters, small amount of storylines. I could follow this. This is just Succession. All right, I could figure this out. As the time jump started, I started to definitely get confused. And who's this kid? Who's this teenager now? Oh, that's the same person as that. All the recastings that got me confused. I'm still into it, but I'm not maybe as I'm just more confused now, I think. But
yeah, I mean, well, it's Game of Thrones, so I think confusion is just a part of the process. But yeah, I think the changing of some of the actors,
some were good, some were bad.
Yeah, but mixing it up like that and seeing the difference and not having that continuity can kind of hurt sometimes. Especially when watching the show, when the king lasts forever, he's like dying for centuries, and he's still
everyone
alive.
But the king 3 times.
I know.
Because I'd say I think I probably liked Olivia Cook replacing the young Alicent, but I think you guys all know, I've mentioned it on 3 or 4 podcasts. Not a fan of Emma D'Arcy replacing Millie Alcott as Princess Rhaenyra. At least so far, at least from what we've seen in those 2 or 3 episodes that Emma was in. So,
but yeah, man, I'm excited to see where it goes. It looks like with that final death there at the end, or at least we think he's dead, right?
Yeah, I think he's probably dead.
Yeah, that it's gonna make some stuff happen, because I would say that I think one complaint I heard a lot was that there wasn't enough action yet.
Yeah.
Still a lot of
the same complaint with Lord of the Rings.
Backroom.
Lots of dragons, but not a lot of action yet. So
yeah.
It's going to be forever until we get season 2. Maybe we'll even probably get a new Game of Thrones spinoff before we get the second season of this show. But and we're supposed to get that Jon Snow show, so maybe. But yeah, let's see. What were you guys' favorites for new shows this year? Any else things stuck out for you?
I did like the House of Dragon. I did not like Lord of the Rings. I got to check out Andor. Severance was one of my faves. Yeah. What else do we have on the list? I'll tell you. I can't remember what I put.
I'll tell you some of my favorites. Severance, The After Party, The Bear, The Rehearsal.
Yeah, The Bear.
I definitely like some of those. John?
Yeah, The Rehearsal was great. I wasn't as down on Lord of the Rings as maybe y'all were, but I thought it was pretty good. And yeah, Severance, I think, stole a show in that category for me.
Like, Severance was so good for me that it challenged shows that had been around for a while.
I mean, when it was in the outstanding drama category, I'm like, this thing could win.
Yeah,
this thing could win. It's just so let's see. Some ones that got multiple write-ins. Our Flag Means Death, Heartstopper, Reboot, Reacher. Rings of Power technically got an extra vote, even though it was listed in the main list. So if that person voted in the main list, it might have helped it get to the honorable mentions. But you put it in the other, and you threw off the tallies. But yeah, some low votes. These are some ones that just got like 1 or 2, like not many votes at all. Bel Air and very freshly canceled Netflix series Blockbuster.
Oof.
Oh yeah.
So that came out, I think, like last month. Yeah, Bel Air was this year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Blockbuster was last month. Yep. So, all right. Netflix just loves killing Blockbuster over and over again. Yeah. They just keep killing it.
Can that person the one person who watched Blockbuster send their review in for us so we don't have to watch it?
Yeah, well, I'm not watching it now. It's canceled. The cliffhanger, I can't deal with that. All right. let's look at our final TV category, and that's the miniseries anthology category. We started this, I guess, 2 years ago with for 2020 was Queen's Gambit. Last year was WandaVision. Any guesses of what was the top miniseries of the year, Kyle?
Well, I already guessed The Dropout was a possibility. Shoot, man. I have totally lost my brain tonight. I'm sorry.
Oh my goodness. Good thing we're only doing this, not any extra episodes after this one, I'll tell you that. Honorable mentions. Monster, the Jeffrey Dahmer story.
Oh, yeah.
Pam and Tommy. And We Own the City. They were close. Those three were in the top, consideration here.
Mm-hmm.
For this one, I'm going to do something a little crazy. There is actually a 3-way tie for third place. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to reveal the 3 and then kind of lump a discussion of one of the third place voters with 2 and 1 because, well, you'll see why. You'll see why I want to talk about a 3-2-1 all together and kind of do them separate. So let's start off with with 3 here, and that's The Dropout, Under the Banner of Heaven, and She-Hulk, Attorney at Law.
She-Hulk?
Yeah.
Wasn't that like being...
the Rotten Tomatoes views or the scores were not great for She-Hulk, but yeah. So let's start off with The Dropout. Let's start off with our discussion of that. For me, I think this was like probably my favorite of the Hulu true crime series that they did this year. I know you guys might have liked Pam and Tommy a bit better, but to me, I think that was like too slapstick, over the top. I think The Girl from Plainville, which I saw, was like too sad and serious, and it was a tough one.
Yeah.
But I feel like this one was just in the middle. This had the drama, this had the comedy, this had a mix of everything, and I thought Amanda Seyfried, just a great Emmy-winning performance. So this was one of my favorites of the year. Actually, was The Dropout.
Yeah, I mean, I just thought it was okay. That's why I didn't keep tuning in. But I love Amanda Seyfried, so I think maybe I should check it out. Check it out and see what this crazy lunatic is about.
Yeah. So the other one it tied with is Under the Banner of Heaven, and I don't know if you guys ended up kept going with this.
No.
I did. I think I liked it a bit more in the beginning. My attention kind of waned as it went through. Overall, I think it was all right. But yeah, just maybe not my favorite, but like it was okay.
This was like a vehicle for Andrew Garfield,
definitely.
Pretty much.
And I think Wyatt Russell was very good in this. I'm going to be honest. I'm still mad that. So I listened to this podcast from the creator of the show, and like the first line of the interview, the day of the premiere aired, he pretty much spoiled the series. And I know it's a true to life, it's like real life thing, but I didn't know this case. So like when they say like, yeah, to research this, I reached out to X, who's in prison, and blank, who, is dead, but I read his diary. And I'm like, all right, well, I wonder who did the crime here. It's like, but
That's funny.
yeah, I guess it's more about the journey than the destination. But
Yes.
okay. Not for me when I'm watching a murder show, a murder mystery, but all right. So those were tied with She-Hulk, and I want to talk about She-Hulk with our other 2 shows here, just because I feel like they kind of make sense to all talk about together.
Okay.
Any guesses though before I reveal, Kyle?
That it goes together with She-Hulk?
Yeah, what could go together with She-Hulk, Attorney at Law? Kim Wexler, Attorney at Law.
Is it like another Marvel Star Wars
You
situation?
got it.
Is it Obi-Wan Kenobi?
That was number 2.
Okay.
And then number 1.
Is another Star Wars or Marvel thing?
Yes. What else is on that list?
I don't remember. I don't watch
Knight.
it. Moon Knight. Oh, okay. Yes.
So
that makes sense.
those
Okay.
were some. So that's why I want to talk about all 3 together, because I know we are not Marvel, Star Wars fans.
Yes.
So I feel like we could do all 3 at once here.
Uh-huh.
All right. So any thoughts on these 3 series? I think you guys all watched Kenobi.
Yeah.
I know we all saw the premiere of Moon Knight. I don't think we saw more than that. What are your overall thoughts, John, of this?
I liked Kenobi. It filled a gap in time in the Star Warses. That was nice to see.
Those 10 minutes between this and that.
This is our extended 5-minute trilogy here. Moon Knight didn't grab me. I forget if I saw 1 or 2 episodes, but I wasn't a fan of the CGI in that first episode, and I didn't feel like the story really. Maybe because I don't know Moon Knight's story, but it didn't grab me. I didn't feel anything, and then I never even looked at She-Hulk. I heard things online. I'm sure some were exaggerated and some were true, but it just.
I saw the trailer of that. And
it's not aimed at me.
You mentioned the CGI of Moon Knight. I saw the CGI of She-Hulk, and I was just like, okay, I don't know. And I just don't have Disney Plus, and I think of like all the Marvel, Star Wars, Disney Plus thing. It's like these were kind of on the lower end review wise. I feel like a lot of people were talking about, oh, do they have a Star Wars Marvel problem? And it's kind of like we're talking about these shows in particular this year. I mean, Andor obviously is doing very well critically for Star Wars, but like it was kind of a drought a little bit, with Marvel when it came to Thor and, some of these series. But
yeah, I mean, I just feel like they're making so many of them. How can all of them be hits? I just remember Kenobi felt we were supposed to be in a Star Wars world, and it felt so small. Like they
gotta get out of that like sand Mandalorian volume set that they're in. It's like the same thing. Get off Tatooine. Get off of it.
Yeah, it just felt so small. It was like I could see the fact that they're on a set. Like Star Wars needs to feel like a spectacle to me if you're gonna do something like that. Moon Knight, I remember thinking it was okay, but not enough to stick with it. But I remember people saying that they really liked Oscar Isaac in it, and
he had a great cast.
Really good.
Ethan Hawke, Oscar Isaac. I mean.
But there's something about it. Like, why don't I want to stick with it? It just feels, I don't know. And then what I was hearing about She-Hulk, I was not ever going to check out.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just, all these miniseries, I feel like, are just like set up for the next miniseries. And it just starts feeling like, okay, you got to watch homework. This to do this, and then to watch that movie. And then it just seems too much. Like,
yeah.
But, all right. Let's see, some low vote getters in this were pretty much from smaller streamers. Joe vs. Carol from Peacock, Gaslit from Stars, Super Pumped, The Battle for Uber from Showtime, all did quite low on the list. But any of your guys' favorites that we haven't mentioned really yet tonight from miniseries? And I know for me, The Dropout was there. I did like Pam and Tommy. Not my favorite, but I did like it.
I like Pam and Tommy. That probably would have been in my top 3 for sure.
All right. Last category of the night. This is always a fun one. It's the pop culture moment of the year. To run through a few from the past. 2019, it was the Game of Thrones final season. The coffee cup, all the backlash from the finale, everything with Game of Thrones. 2020, we didn't even have to do it. It was COVID-19. That was the moment of the year. And then last year, it was actually a tie. Bernie Sanders, the inauguration meme.
Oh, yeah.
And then the GameStop short squeeze.
Oh, yeah.
Have we gotten any of like the 5 projects that were in development last year when we were talking about this? We were supposed to get like 5 different movies and TV shows. And this, it's like, just working on it. It's going to be real timely when all these drop in 3 years.
Yeah, I know. Well, I'm sure there's going to be like a crypto thing.
Oh, yeah, the FTX guy,
Yeah, so I'm sure that's going to be a thing too.
Yeah.
So since I have materials on this, I bet I could guess.
Let's see what the guess is.
I could. So it looks like Twitter's going to be one.
Well, see, it's not in the top 3. I'll tell you that. I have some decoys up there, Kyle, so you can't guess.
Okay.
There's like 4 or 5 colors up there. So
I'm gonna go with Wordle is definitely one. The slap at the Oscars is another. Maybe the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard stuff. Those would be my top 3.
All right, those are very good guesses. You got a couple of things right. But honorable mentions. These just missed the cut. Was the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial, the Don't Worry Darling press tour and Spitgate and all that nonsense. And then Elon Musk and Twitter. Now, the latter of which, who knows the final outcome of this pop culture moment. In the last 24 hours alone of this recording, he blocked posting other social links on the website, but then he adjusted that rule. He then made a poll asking if he should step down as CEO and that he would follow the results of whatever that may be. Well, the people have spoken. They want him down, and we've yet, as of this recording, heard an update on that. So who knows if that will be out of date by when this is posted, or about 30 seconds after I just said this. But what a wild ride that was. But those missed the cut.
It's still going.
It's still going. We'll see. But it's still going. They missed the cut. I'll say our number 3. It's Morbin time. I don't even know what to say with this. I just love that the internet grasped onto this line that's not in the movie, completely made up, just as a joke. And they did this so much. They made so many memes and popularity, at least seemingly online, that they tricked the studio to re-release the film and add it into a bunch of more theaters. And it came out, like, they added all these theaters like 2 months after the initial flop of the movie. And it was widely released, and it was 14th at the box office that weekend. It made $300 per theater for a total of $310,000 on the re-release.
Oh my God.
17% on Rotten Tomatoes, Morbius. This might be the box office, or no, this is the Oscar punishment bet. I'm sure the Good, Bad, and Watchable have already seen it, but we'll be watching it again come Oscar time.
Yeah, that is the memes, though. That meme, the Star Wars one.
Yeah.
That's a good one,
Morbin
too.
time.
Dude,
It's Morbin time. It's Morbin time.
I didn't know that it came from that one line from that tweet. That's all it was. I didn't know that that's what...
Yeah. It's just, remember the part when he said it's Morbin time and then he morbed all over those guys?
It's so
That's the best part of the movie.
So stupid.
All right. Well, number 2 was a pretty big moment involving the Oscars. It was Will Smith and Chris Rock at the Oscars.
Mm-hmm.
I still can't believe that this happened. What a wild night. I mean,
know.
And just the whole process of every single thing leading up to that moment, just like the Academy wanted a big moment people were talking about. I don't think they expected something like this.
Yeah.
And then for this moment to happen, and then, like, I don't know, 30 minutes later, for him to win Best Actor and have to deliver a speech.
I know, man. Oh, it's so cringy.
Wild. But so some updates, because we definitely talked about it when we talked about the Oscars.
Yeah.
But since then, Smith resigned his Academy membership before any possible suspension or expulsion or anything like that. But the Academy also, they had a big meeting with all the, governors and board members and stuff like that. And they actually banned Smith from attending any kind of Academy event for 10 years. So that includes the Oscars. So he can't attend the Oscars. He can still be nominated, but he can't attend the ceremony. And
wow.
There's a movie that he had this fall, Emancipation, on Apple TV Plus. It was a possible early awards contender, but I think it really just deflated. It just like, and it's terrible for all those people that worked on the movie. I mean, they spent years on it probably, and
yeah, and I mean, Apple TV had to think that they had like maybe a possible Oscar. I mean, it was going to be an Oscar movie. I mean, it's coming around that time. It's just, terrible for everyone involved.
Yeah. All right. So that was number 2. We have one more left. You still think? What's your gut telling you here?
I don't know.
I don't know. You're going back on your thoughts here, Kyle. I'll tell you. You had one of them right.
Wordle? It's
Wordle.
definitely Wordle.
It's Wordle. That's the big one of the year. The guessing game where players have just 6 attempts to guess a 5-letter word. So I got some stats on this here, but any of you guys play Wordle?
Yeah, I played it pretty regularly for a couple of months, I think.
Yeah, John, did you get into it?
No, I when I was at my parents and they were playing, I would pull it up and play too. But I was really the only time I ever played, and I didn't play it religiously.
It got addicting. I was doing this like, it was one of those things like I'd do it like first thing in the morning because I didn't want to be like spoiled or get the result, and then but I'd be doing it like in bed at like 6:30. It's like I'm not at the best peak brain power here to be doing this, but yeah, it was initially created by the creator just for himself and his partner to play, and then he made it public in October of last year, and then it just surged in popularity. And I think by like December, January, everyone was playing it, was sharing the results on Twitter. I'm still seeing it in my Twitter feed now. It's like, guys, it's over. Like, you don't need to show me your Wordle thing of the day. But the New York Times, they bought it in January for like a 7-figure sum. It's just like this guy who created it probably just has like a fun little thing with his,
Yeah, and is now
a millionaire
making bank from it. Yeah, that's crazy.
But I think I dropped out from playing somewhere in the spring, maybe. I think like when it officially like went over to the New York Times. I don't know if my stats carried over, and I was like really annoyed, and I was just like, whatever. Like, wasn't saving it correctly, But
that would be my problem. That would de-incentivize me.
Because there were sometimes I was getting on the second one. I was like, all right, I'm doing pretty good here. And then, but there were so many like copycats. There was one I was playing for a little bit, kind of like based on like the box office. Like they would give you certain clues, and you would fill in certain things with guessing, and they had like Taylor Swift only words and like Harry Potter only words, and like
oh my god,
Hurdle. My family played where
Hurdle,
they would play
Hurdle,
a few seconds worth of audio and guess a song.
Yeah.
And then like CBS even brought back the show Lingo, the game show Lingo, which is practically this, but like just with like blue and yellow colors, I think, instead of green and yellow. Like it's like the same thing. But now, it's on TV. But this thing was stressful. I remember points like with this on the Twitch stream here, where you would have like 3 letters right, and then it's like, okay, maybe it's Shaq. Nope, it's SHA, but it's not Shaq. Is it Sharp? No, and like you keep guessing. It's like I only have 2 more guesses left, and it could be like 6 other words.
Yeah.
Like, do I just guess a completely random new word to eliminate letters and then hope, or do I like just go for it and and try to get the word earlier? And it's like this, no, and then you get to the very last one, and you're like, well, I just got to guess. Is it this? But
yeah. Who knew that you would be stressed at 6 a.m. from that?
Yeah, from this game, but. Overall, pretty fun. Any other pop culture moments that stick out to you guys? Any favorites?
Let me take a look back at the list that you gave me just to make sure. Well, the Spirit Halloween. I feel like all of these pop culture things like stick out in like 2-month spans and then are just like gone.
Yeah.
But I think those things that we talked about are the ones that stick out, that people remember, like throughout the entire year, or even later, like that Will Smith thing. People are going to be talking about that for a while.
Yeah. Some of my favorites are the "Don't Worry, Darling" press tour, the Elon Musk Twitter thing, Will Smith, Chris Rock, Wordle. I really like It's Corn. That just the whole story of that, the song, a big lump with knobs. It has the juice. It's just.
Yeah.
Just wild. Just one little video.
And then that kid was everywhere, man.
Yeah. I think he was in like the Macy's parade. I think he went to some like Nickelodeon movie premiere on red carpet. Like, good for him. He deserves it.
Yeah.
But, all right. So before we go, we have these kind of like survey comments. I like to always, include any personal entertainment memories or moments from the past year. We always get some, some good ones. Somebody said the Super Bowl halftime show with Dre and Snoop Dogg, Netflix cancellations. You get some good, extra ones that people write in. And then you get some odd ones. And we got multiple write-ins for something called Goncharvo. I don't know if I'm saying that right. You guys can help pronounce me if I'm saying it right.
Goncharov?
I got Goncharov, yeah.
That's how I read it.
There's 2 here for this. And the one comment that really made me think about it was the effing Gorchavo or whatever, or he said it wrong. Gorchavo.
They spelled it differently than the poster.
Yeah. So whatever. Thing from 2022, I wasn't even part of it, but I love that S. Also, the meme about the guy who F'd that god-awful song. First of all, you got way too many moments in here. One moment, a line here. What song is this? I don't know what you're talking about.
I'll tell you after we're done.
Oh, okay.
That's
good.
a good one.
Good.
I would have voted for that if I had thought of it. That's a good one.
Oh, well, let's talk about the other thing in here. The how would you say it, John?
Goncharov, based on what I'm reading off of here. But I mean, it sounds like it's very Russian, so I could be completely wrong.
Yeah, so I had to look this up. Like, what are these people talking about? And it seems to be a fake post-war era mafia movie that kind of tricked the internet. They were claiming it was a 1973 Martin Scorsese film starring De Niro, Pacino, and Gene Hackman. Mm-hmm. And it started when a Tumblr user bought off some like knockoff boots. And instead of a brand name on the tongue, it said the greatest mafia movie ever made, Martin Scorsese presents, this movie title. Yeah. And then we were like, what is this? Like, what's going on here? And I think people figured out it was like a botched spelling of a 2008 Italian mafia film that like Martin Scorsese helped bring to the United States called like Gomorrah or something. And it's like, it's like some knockoff botched spelling of this Italian film. But the replies started like messing with this Tumblr user and was like, this idiot has never heard of this. It's like, yes, of course, this movie. Didn't you know this movie? It's only the greatest mafia movie ever. So like people just like started saying this and then they make this like fake poster. And it's just like they're messing with this. Like, come on, you don't know this movie?
That's ridiculous. Yeah, but I had no idea about this.
Yeah, I didn't know about it either. But that was couple people's favorite pop culture moment of the year.
That's pretty good.
So it's pretty good. Not as good as that song. I can't wait to hear what song it was, but
you'll have a good chuckle.
Oh, good.
I think I know what the second one is referring to.
Probably.
I think I remember.
Was it a personal story, Kyle?
Yes. Yeah, okay. This is mine actually.
Okay.
I graduated university and I saw Goncharov and I F to the only the good music.
Only the good music. Well, on that note, there's no better way to end this episode and to end 2022 of Do or Duncy. We're going to be off for the next 2 weeks from the live show, but we have some mini episodes to tide you over until 2023. So make sure you're subscribed to the podcast feed wherever you get your podcasts, because there's going to be audio only, at least for now, podcasts. The first one, our favorite Do or Duncy moments from the past year. So all of our favorite podcast moments we'll talk about in that mini episode. And then, what are we looking forward to in 2023? What movies, TV shows are we excited is coming next year? So those are some mini episodes coming. We have another stream we're going to do tomorrow. It's going to be a re-air. We've been doing this holiday stunt. We've been restreaming some of our favorite holiday movie recaps to help you get into the holiday spirit. We've been doing Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern. We'll try to monitor the Twitch chat to watch and comment along with you guys. We did Jingle All the Way and Die Hard in the last couple weeks. And tomorrow we're going to do a double header and conclude this little holiday stunt. Home Alone 1 and Home Alone 2 double feature tomorrow night on Twitch, Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern. What was that, John?
I said, holy cow, that's a long stream.
Well, might as well. Let's go out with a bang here. Yeah, not to that song, guys. Come on. Speaking of the holidays and Christmas and all the holidays there, you might want to just pick up some merch. Maybe you might have just enough time to pick up some Do or Duncy merch. You can find it on our Linktree page. It's being hosted by Gearomatic. It'll probably be in the show notes as well. T-shirts, mugs, stickers, all the fun stuff, for some holiday gifts in there. But that is all we got for this week. Make sure you're following us on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, the blog, doorduncy.com. Of course, live on Twitch, twitch.tv/DoRedundancy. Monday nights, again, not until January, but Monday nights on Twitch, the re-air of the holiday movies on Tuesday. I gotta thank both you guys for joining me tonight, for just going along for another year of the podcast, another wild year of the podcast. Hopefully, got another one in you. Hopefully. But couldn't do it without you guys. John directing the show, so many images, new segment headers. Couldn't do it without you guys. So thank you so much. Until next time, I'm David Allen.
John Berwick.
I'm Kyle Bridger.
And that's all we got for our wind down of 2022. Goodbye, everybody.